Greetings, fellow American vandals! Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And we're back with yet another podcast about the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Tonight, we're talking the Gettysburg Address. It's season 12, episode 6. We're over halfway there, Dragon. I'm not ready for the show to be over, man. So I'm just gonna say right up front, Dragon. I know about you, but I think this episode was great. I really think that we've been getting a 1-2 punch of really solid stuff throughout the past couple of weeks. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I didn't like it as much as last week's.
Okay, that's fair. I think maybe there were maybe 1 or 2 running gags that weren't great.
Honestly, I liked it. I just the very end is where I was getting a little iffy on some of our payoffs at the very end, but
Really? Okay, well that's definitely a difference of opinion, but we'll get into it.
Not bad. I'm not saying like it tanked the episode or anything. I'm just saying if I were to measure the two up, I think we paid everything off a little better in 5 than we did 6.
That's fair. All right. Well, we have Anime Fan in the comments. I am doing well, Anime Fan. Thanks for asking. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and break it down then. You ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we start at Shimon's all-you-can-eat buffet. Oh, dear.
Okay, so this is kind of a bucket list thing here for Curb, where it's like, it's like Leon, he's been, ever since his first appearance, the guy's always eating, so taking him to an all-you-can-eat buffet is just, it's gold, and it's like one of those things where you have to do it at least before the show's over.
I'm honestly surprised it's taken them this long to get around.
That's the thing, so it feels like an obvious idea they just never did anything with, so I was so delighted to see that, because I thought, not like something I was looking for, but it was like something like, oh my god, that's absolutely something I need with Leon. I never really
It just kind of writes itself.
Yeah, so it's a priceless idea of Leon at an all-you-can-eat buffet, and of course him running into trouble.
Oh my god!
So Shimon.
I mean, I love how even Larry is like very, very cognitive of the fact that Leon is pushing his luck when it comes to the all-you-can-eat thing.
See, here's where I come down on the matter here. Okay. Shimon. I think he's digging his heels in on the wrong part of Leon here. It's not so much all the plates. The solution is simple, okay? It's like it should be like the Vegas style buffet where you pay per, at least back in the 90s, I guess, maybe let's say late 90s.
I can tell you based on my Vegas research, Dragon buffets are a dying breed in that town.
My point is I think the way the buffets used to go, at least, where like you would buy the singular plate and then you would get up and then you'd refill the plate. So the problem is Leon's getting multiple plates. I think that's what they should have dug the heels into. Like, no, you got like more than one plate. And just
I see what you're saying. Yeah, he'll load up stuff on a plate and then he won't even finish it before he goes back for more.
See, that's the thing. If they dug his heels in on that, then I think Shimon would have an argument here. But it's just.
I also think maybe he could have been a little bit more eloquent about like, yo, you're eating all the high, all the high value items here. Like you can have as much of the low value stuff as you want, but you're taking advantage of like the prawns and the crab legs and the stuff like that. I don't know.
Still, it's the fact that, like, again, all you can eat, as in like there's great legal, again, any legal argument right there is just, well, hey, you advertised all you can eat. It says it right on the building. Okay, what do you expect?
I mean, I just think this guy's ban happy, man. I think he really just gets off on banning people.
It definitely feels that way. However, I do love that he was hesitant to ban Larry David. I love it. You eat reasonably. You can come back.
Right. Even after the whole, no, you stink.
Exactly. So I was impressed in his character with that. Like, even if he says the food stinks, like, you can come back and I can.
Yeah. Right.
At least there's an honesty there. Anyway, so Leon justifiably upset, but he really, again, he should have stuck with like the one singular place. That's the thing. if you use one plate, it deters the lazy man who's stocking up and getting fatter to like get up and get more food. That's the thing. It's like
Sure,
he's
sure.
filling his butt. That's why you have the one plate of like it's going to deter people from getting up for more, and there's a laziness there.
Now, I will say, like, I will make the argument that perhaps, like, I don't know if you say one plate, you mean just like you have to actually eat everything that's on your plate. Because I think the one argument I can make with the point that you're making is that you can get a new physical plate, like you don't want to just keep stacking stuff on the one plate that you had because that's going to be messy. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Well, still, no, you're gonna have. There's gonna be some stacks, but you're not gonna stack like an inordinate amount. Like that's the thing. You can stack, but the thing is, you're not going to like. You can come back. You could like, okay, I would like a different plate because I had messy stuff on this plate. I can
Yeah,
have
that's
another.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can have the one singular. Yeah, that's the thing. But again, you can't bring like two plates.
that's totally fair.
Like if you came for a breakfast buffet, you get all breakfast stuff, and I don't know, maybe you have like syrup, and the other thing, like maybe I want eggs on this one, but you have to eat them one at a time, or if you have to combine, if you want to combine, well, that's your peril.
Mhm. All right. So Leon, he is not satisfied yet. He wants to go get some dessert, and while he's doing that, Dragon, Larry, he bumps into Ted, and Ted wants a favor.
Yes, and I love already like the moment Ted Danson like walks up to Larry David and says, "Okay, that's the last thing I want to hear." That how serendipitous? I need a favor. So Ted Danson, he's doing a little play called House Divided. So basically, Ted Danson's attempting his Daniel Day-Lewis era of fame. He's he's
I was gonna say, based on what this play seems like, it's pretty much like what the Lincoln movie should have been, which is like I think you and I agree. Like all the best stuff in the Lincoln movie was all the Mary Todd stuff, and there wasn't nearly enough of it.
Mhm. Nope. So Ted Danson basically he and his co-star in the play, Lori Loughlin.
Now, do you know about her scandals, Dragon? I didn't have time to look into it.
Well, I mean, it's really just mainly scandal. Just the scandal being she, the whole in the college admissions thing. She basically like greased some palms to get her kid into a fancy college.
Okay, I heard about that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that she was directly involved. I assumed it was more politicians and stuff.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like directly her and someone else, like another person whoever like the celebrities who were doing it. I think it was her and one other guy, but basically that's at least how publicly I believe it went down. Just I don't know if any. There's like some documentary I always meant to watch, but I never did about the whole college admissions thing. But I think it's literally it's like the institution versus like I don't know if it's a politician, maybe like a superintendent for not superintendent, but like a dean or something for the school, whatever.
Right, right.
Point being, she was. Anyway, so yeah, this is the amazing thing. The episode, everyone's really impressed with this episode. That man, Lori Loughlin, she's got a really good sense of humor about herself. Like she's making fun of like this really embarrassing scandal she was a part of.
I mean, honestly, her you're right with her. It's definitely the highlight. But Sienna Miller's such a good sport too in this episode. They're both really. But you're right, Lori McLaughlin, or I'm sorry, Lori Loughlin. She's I'm sorry, she's very much kind of like has the more embarrassing stuff in this episode. So very much a good sport about it. But I was also impressed with Sienna.
Also, fun fact: Lori Loughlin, childhood crush of Seth MacFarlane.
Wow, there you go.
Which we learned in the TED series. Anyway, yeah, so basically the favor is, can you help Lori Loughlin? She wants to get into the Ocean View. Yet again, we're going to Ocean View. She wants to get into the Ocean View Golf Club. But she needs a sponsor, and no one wants to sponsor her because of the whole college admission scandal. So, so again, everyone's just very impressed with how good-humored Lori Loughlin is about things here. And fun fact, as is called out in the episode, she did appear on Seinfeld, but not in a Larry David season.
Oh, God.
I want to say, I think she was in the Serenity Now episode, because the whole gag with her was that Jerry dated a girl, who wanted Jerry to like be less, sardonic comedian, be more like emotional and kind of essentially angsty. So it's this thing where like he got a little mad at her. He's like, yeah, be angry. I like that. So basically, Jerry's emotions got a little out of check. So he was going kind of crazy. It was really kind of funny. Where like he was telling George, "I love you, buddy," and George was very uncomfortable with this.
Oh, God.
When he's like proposing to Elaine, I think, or something. So I think it's in Serenity Now. I think that's the same episode. He's just going out of whack. It was either that or I'm pretty sure it was her. Anyway, so that was like season 8 or 9. I think it was 8. Point being, yet again, we mentioned Seinfeld, and at the end, yeah, I wasn't there for, no, you came back for the finale, didn't you? There's that pause. Yes, Ted, I came back for the finale.
Oh, man, I love how they're queuing that up. And that plus the fact that he keeps getting arrested.
Yeah, so I've been doing some research on like the reception of the Seinfeld finale a little further lately, getting ready for where Curb's going. And from what I sense, it sounds like I was on the mark. Where a lot of people were upset about kind of the clip show quality of things, but also it was the fact that it sounds like the nail in the coffin was that NBC overhyped the secrecy in that everyone had no idea what to expect when it was just going to be kind of like
it's literally a show about nothing. What the fuck? How can you spoil it?
That's the thing. That's the thing, though. NBC, because of all the secrecy, they made it sound like it was something amazing was going to happen. What
could possibly happen on that show that would be spoiler worthy? Honestly,
well, there are a lot of really Tiki. There were a lot of wacky theories. 2 prominent ones. One, the prominent ridiculous theory: Newman was going to go postal and kill all of them. It was a legit stupid theory that was going around.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Now the more legit theory that kind of was
picturing Dennis Nedry doing the same thing in Jurassic Park.
Well, if you watch the finale in part 1, at the very start of it, the whole gag is that Newman wants to go to Paris. He wants to go on the trip with them. They're heading to Paris because they're supposed to go to Paris. And Newman basically he gets into this Shakespearean revenge monologue to Jerry. It's like, "You will rue the day, Seinfeld," and so that's like, of course, it's like Newman's kind of put a curse on them, which basically leads to what happens in the finale. But there was a thing where there was almost a plane crash in the first part, and a lot of people thought, okay, maybe that's how we're going to do them in. So there was actually death on the table for the Seinfeld finale, and I guess maybe that's what got in people's heads, instead of just like, it's just going to be another typical episode, or like, hey, let's just show the promos so people won't get too excited. Anyway, so, anyway, I'm sorry. So, moving on from there, again, Ted Danson's playing Lincoln, and because of this, Larry David, he decides, as he's getting in conversation with Leon, he wants to utilize his bathroom time more efficiently. I think we've all been there.
I mean,
not to this extent.
Really.
Haven't you ever had a thought of like, man, I could be doing better things right now, or like you have a contemplative moment of thought.
I do not have as overactive a bladder as Larry David does, so I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I meant the bathroom.
Something that I ponder.
I meant okay. I didn't mean just doing what he's. I meant in general when you're in the bathroom, perhaps, and you want to. I don't know.
I doing the other thing, Dragon, I read, which is productive. So I digress.
That's what I'm getting at. Larry David's having that kind of thought, but with number 1.
All right. God,
that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that it's a relatable thought of just like, like thinking about stuff like that. And Larry David has kind of literalized that here. Like, how could I better utilize my time doing something really not really helpful when you're basically standing.
right.
But this is a charming idea, which, by the way, is based in real life. Larry David did, in fact, he did this. Memorize the Lincoln, the Gettysburg Address while during bathroom breaks.
Oh man,
that's where this came from. You already had to memorize it when they shot it. They didn't really have to work that hard, but essentially, I assume over a period of time, hopefully not exactly like this, but he memorized the Gettysburg Address. I think
I'm not gonna lie, Dragon. The Gettysburg Address thing, it is for me the one element of the episode I'm not really crazy about. I just kind of it eats up a little bit too much screen time. Honestly, I'm not like the payoff wasn't really that funny for me.
I
Honestly.
that's what I was cementing earlier. To I don't like the payoff to the Gettysburg Address. I like the build up to it though.
Okay.
See, I
That being said, I think this episode has a lot of really good payoffs to other things. You know, like the fish guy, for example. I really love how we brought him back, but
oh yeah.
you know, we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you and I are pretty much in agreement there. I think the payoff was pretty weak.
Exactly. What I love though is I love the montage and the idea that it's this ridiculous, mundane, silly thing where he's out loud just repeating the Gettysburg Address.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets like a groundswell of support. It's a really well edited montage and just builds with this like him getting a standing ovation in like a men's room at like a baseball game.
I mean, the thing that really bothers me about that payoff is honestly that, and you know, obviously Curb is heightened reality, but I just don't ever see something like that happening in real life. There's no relatability to it for me.
Well, that's the thing. You've never seen in real life though. You don't know what would happen.
All right, let's fair enough.
Try to refute that one, huh? Next time you have to go to little boy's room.
Oh, God.
Gee, there's your assignment. Okay, memorize the Gettysburg Address.
I mean, honestly, if it wasn't the Gettysburg Address, if it was just the speech that he gives in Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, I pretty much already had that down.
There you go. Try that then. See how it goes. Might go over really good big at the Disney park, in fact.
Oh man, could you imagine? God.
Like little, like imagine like little kids like telling us like there's a man in there saying all the Mr. Lincoln stuff.
Oh no. Oh no. All right. What's next?
All right, let's see. So, I guess moving on from there. Okay, so let's talk about Susie's billboard.
Yes. First of all, just visually a great fucking image, right?
Yep. Oh, by the way, fun fact: this caftan thing. Technically, the billboard is genuine. You can actually order these things like
no shit, really? Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So you can, I read somewhere you can actually go to this website and you can order these things. I don't know how they're selling right now. I don't know if maybe the marketing.
Well,
I don't know.
You know, it's like there's a couple things they can do to maybe raise their sales a little bit.
So I don't know. I don't know if the implementation of that or if it has been done further, perhaps.
Oh God!
But it's yeah. But essentially, yes. Apparently, it's like a real website, and you can actually buy these things. So, again, like take that, Better Call Saul viral marketing. They went the next step.
I know, right? Oh God.
Yeah. So Susie, she got billboards. She's selling these. Susie has dabbled in fashion in the past, so I think this is like she's made these things probably, and or the brothers had the idea to make these things, and she's like hired a company to kind of make them and mass produce them somehow. She's rented a billboard to advertise the little business, and obviously it looks ridiculous. And this pose is going to come back to haunt her. And I love just looking at the pose. You can just kind of tell, oh man, there's
right. You kind of see where everything's gonna go. Yeah.
See, I see this image, and I just love the idea that Susie Essman must have had such a great time posing for this. Just knowing,
I still can't get over the fact that I never knew she played the cat in Bolt. I still can't get over that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
okay, let's see. So the billboard gets defaced.
Yes,
to put it delicately.
God.
Larry David and Jeff, they're having a big laugh about it too. And this is classic.
Okay, Jeff sat out last episode. He wasn't in last episode, so it was great to see him again. And I fucking love his laugh in this scene, Dragon. He is just having a ball in this scene.
Did you ever see the? Did you see the Freak Book episode? I can't remember what season. I think it was in 6. Did you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
he's got an infectious laugh.
he does. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So they're having a great laugh there. But again, business is booming. People like what was drawn on that billboard.
Yeah, yeah.
They do indeed. So someone has basically American vandaled the billboard.
I mean, right? Isn't that funny how it's basically like the American Vandal plot that going on in the background this episode?
Oh yeah, and the real culprit was never caught.
Oh my god, the real
You
culprit
know,
is just that guy from American Vandal. It's
you
him.
know, you know,
They're
it'd
in
be
the same
funnier.
universe.
You know, it'd be really funny.
What?
What the waiter was the guy.
That would be really funny. God. All right. Anyways, so let's see. Next, I believe we have the Sienna Miller date.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, we do.
So, first of all, Dragon, I just want to highlight the premise of this movie just seems fucking absurd.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. These are intentionally bad movies they're making.
Because the whole movie basically just seems like it's some mother panicking about her lost child, and that's it. That's literally the movie.
But she does something while she's in a panic.
God, I love that. Yes.
Apparently, this I think is funny. This is kind of making fun of like an old Hollywood trope here. And I remember there's this thing on Netflix that I recommend people check out. I think it's Invasion of the Cliches or Invasion of the Tropes. With Rob Lowe. It's like 40 minutes or something, and basically him walking you through kind of like all the classic Hollywood tropes and demonstrating them in kind of some funny ways. And these clips, anyway. So one of them, of course, is the old like apple prop. Basically, eat fruit during a scene to look nonchalant. So basically, Sienna Miller, she has a crippling acting kind of trope here, where just in all of her scenes, she just keeps acting and eating fruit during the scenes. And we amped it up to like 11, just like her is doing it like very in your face during these scenes in these really cheesy movies during this premiere. That's her date, like like Larry and her just seeing a movie that has her in. He's making the observation, yeah, you really like fruit, don't you? No, not really. He's like, well, yeah, look at that, you're eating fruit a lot intrusively in the scene.
I know, right?
Someone interrupts their date, Tiki.
Okay, I've got some things to say about this, Dragon. I think this guy is such a fucking asshole, isn't he?
Yes.
I seriously think this might be one of the most overblown reactions to anything Larry David does in the whole of the series, from what I've seen.
I mean, agree.
This guy is just like. Now here's the thing, like. With the coat on the chair thing, Dragon, I feel like when it happens to Larry in the actual theater, it's a little bit more justified to be upset about it because there's obviously not a lot of leg room there.
Because it's a big overcoat.
Right. And also, I just know from experience, I know that there's usually a lot less leg room in those kind of, stage theaters than in just an average movie theater. Mm-hmm. But in a movie theater, you're fine. Like, it's not going to fucking kill you. I do it all the time. Nobody gives a shit. This guy is so out of line.
Okay, here's where I come down on this. Okay, here's where I come down on this mundane thing here. So the code etiquette. See, for me, honestly, it's less out of just like, like the fear and concern for like the other person's comfort. It's just more of like my own personal, like, like paranoid maintaining the niceties of my finery. I basically put it on the back of the chair towards the inside, almost like, especially if you're at a movie, almost like really like a blanket or something.
Sure, yeah.
For that, but it's the idea that's in general. Here's the thing: if I'm at like an office setting, it's going on the back of the chair, no question. However, again, if I'm in a movie theater, though, it's going behind me. It's it's cushioned, it separates me from the filthy movie chair for all I know. Also, that's what I'm saying. I don't want it dangling on the back and getting ruined. Like, I don't know, the other guy's gonna like have like a spit take with popcorn or anything. He's just gonna trample on my coat. I don't want any of that to happen. So so yeah, I'm using it as like a cushion for my back practically. That's how I'm using it. I think I'm saying Larry shouldn't be chastised for this coat thing again in the movie theater setting, but for everyone's benefit, keep it on the inside.
I'm just saying this dude is just like he is so aggressive about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he is. You're right. I mean, just him bringing it up like that too, because I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, low-key, it's absolutely the type of thing where if someone were to confront me about this, I'd panic attack city. And
really,
you know
the coat guy would give you a panic attack, even if you knew he was
if
ridiculous?
he's this much of an asshole about it, then yes.
But if he's gonna be, but he's an idiot though.
I don't know, Dragon. My anxiety works in mysterious ways, my friend.
Well, speaking of anxiety here, so let's so more. Sienna Miller's kind of a mess upstairs, as we learned this episode. At least the fictional.
Just a wee bit.
So again, aside from the fruit compulsion, she's. It sounds like she's really phoning in the Judaism. She's really like she's.
I love that. That's one of my favorite running gags throughout these 2 episodes. Because I have definitely met people like this. Who like they take like a surface level interest in the thing that you're really passionate about, and then they try to throw facts at you that are very obviously incorrect, and you're just like, yeah, sure. Like you don't want to correct them because you'll sound like an asshole, but but still, I've very much been in this kind of position.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
fun stuff there.
Let's see. So she makes up Schmees, I think, or it's like Schmees or Schmides, like
it's not Schmees because that's too close to Mr. Shmee from Peter Pan, but Schmei, I think, or
don't Schmize, don't Schmize. Don't go. But this whole parable, this made up parable, I love how full of it she is. You just can tell from the beginning the fact she won't get into like tell them what the actual parable is. Rachel and the rug merchants.
Oh my god, dude!
Just doesn't answer a single one of the follow-up questions.
Rachel
and the rug merchants.
Oh man!
See, the moral of the story is they were on a break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen that commercial with Schwimmer and Aniston yet? Really?
No.
Oh, I keep seeing it, and it keeps on being annoying.
Do they acknowledge they were on a break?
Man, I don't want to get into it, Dragon. It's just dumb.
I have a feeling they weren't on a break. Oh, it'd be hilarious. Oh god, this is what they should have done back when it first happened. What? Kit Kat promotion.
Oh my god! Jesus. That would have been funny.
Basically, he's offering her a break, and she's like, "Oh, Ross," just like leaves in a huff. What? They're good.
Oh my god!
Just takes a break.
All right.
Anyway, so let's see. So okay, let's talk golfing with Laughlin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
oh man,
Larry David gives this wonderfully impassioned speech that is like modeled after the whole Gettysburg Address to win over the club and get her sponsored, and he instantly comes through credit.
Like literally, like right out of the gate, as soon as they step foot on the green.
And again, kudos to Laughlin here for being a really good sport about this.
Yeah.
She's playing into all the worst things people said about her. So, she's just basically this horribly competitive and corrupt individual on the golf course, it would seem.
Right. And I love how we've firmly established in the course of the series, Larry takes his golf etiquette incredibly seriously.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is a lot of fun.
So, all right. Yeah, Epstein Bar. Tell them about the Epstein Bar.
Oh God. Oh man. Yeah. So I don't even know where to start. It's just so ridiculous.
Basically, she has like the handicap equivalent when playing golf, like little blue flag. Like, how'd you get that? Oh, I have Epstein Barr. One hematologist says.
I mean, what even? I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
I mean, based on the hematologist thing, that hematology is the study of blood. So I guess Epstein Barr is like a blood disease. Some sort of blood disease. I think so. I mean, I admittedly I meant to look it up because I've heard Epstein Barr before, but not often. Brought up. I remember Larry David has only. Is that a Jewish disease?
Right.
Essentially, what he says, I think it's mostly just a gag based on the the name Epstein Barr. I think it's the main gag. I don't know if it's
And then
actually.
I just fucking love when he just calls her on it and she just does not know how to respond. She doesn't really know what he's talking
She
about.
completely forgot about it. It's like, oh, Lori. Oh, you raised twin boys, Lori. Oh. But yeah, so she's bribing people. She's flirting to get better times on the golf course. Yeah, she's just again, just like to get better scores and advantages and everything. She's just she's gaming the whole game, as it were. Also very rude and full of herself too. Like, hey Larry, we gotta get your game up for next time, okay?
Bro, no shit, she's rude and fucking full of herself, man.
Yeah. And then she.
I mean, it's like this guy is like literally like going out of his way to vouch for you, and you're basically treating him like shit over it.
She has a handicap sticker on her fast car.
Which surely that must be like a breaking point for Larry at that point, right?
Absolutely, yeah. But he can't do anything. He's stuck with her. See, here's the thing. Honestly, the thing with this episode, I think she should have got a comeuppance. Honestly, I think that's we should.
Ooh, I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, the season's not over yet, so I could totally see the comeuppance coming.
That's fair.
We'll see.
If Miss Takahashi's going to ban anyone.
I know, right?
Like, Takahashi, come on, man. Of course, if she wore the shorts, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be as horrified.
Very true. Very true.
Okay. But then again, what if Larry were younger?
Oh my
no,
God.
It doesn't matter. we don't know what's going on with Takahashi. We don't know what his home looks like. We don't know why he was horrified.
All right.
If you were John Cena, who knows?
Oh,
Speaking of Oscars.
Yes.
So they had this is funny. Apparently, this was completely accidental timing wise. This was not intended to be purely because of the week this premiered. But we have two Will Smith references in this episode.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, the alopecia one I think is very much a coincidence. The other one maybe not so much.
Well, no, remember the whole reason for the argument was the alopecia thing.
True.
But I'm saying like, there were two Will Smith references there, but the whole timing of like the week that the same day the new Oscars are happening, this episode that's accidental. That was like they couldn't really control like when the show comes back when the Oscars happen. But yeah, so I'm just kind of making fun of like the big events where Jeff has to defend Susie's honor after she's like, oh yeah, you're the lady with the billboard. And it's like like. That's why he says of all the things Jeff could say after he fakes the slap. I love it's a slap too. You can tell it's not a punch or anything. He's faking a slap.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep my wife's name out your mother effing mouth.
I know, right?
Exactly verbatim. And Susie's she's very pleased with Jeff here. Which again, I think we're saying.
Also, did we glaze over the initial billboard, like the initial dick billboard thing?
I mean, we mentioned it tastefully, but you can dig into
I think we just kind of like went a little bit out of chronological order on it. It's fine. It's the one we acknowledge.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Sure. But yeah, so she's she's getting really good business, and now there is a second one on there. And that's what Larry kind of breaks the news to her. Yeah. I guess before we go further, we did skip over this a little bit. So Sienna Miller, she's having some difficulty on the set. Larry knows exactly what's going on. It's like she doesn't have the crutch of the fruit.
She needs the fruit.
She's helpless. I brought you this pear.
Oh my God.
And she's good now. She's all set. And I love that Susie's like making fun of Larry too for like being in a relationship with Sienna Miller.
Mm.
Yep. Let's see. So anyway, so things seemingly are going great now because again the whole movie theater thing really seemingly put her off. But Larry's coming in to save the day. But then he's bringing up her hair and he keeps asking about her hair, and then I think rather unfairly she snaps at him.
Yeah, I mean a little bit unfairly, sure, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it is an issue that he was very much like being kind of pushy about.
He
so.
was needling her. He needled her a bunch.
Yeah.
That's Larry, though. Larry needles people. Here's the thing: if you get the fact, it's just ironic that she's going to snap at Larry David of all people about alopecia.
Right.
I mean, Larry David.
That is pretty ironic.
that whole thing. It's like, I love that this does feel like Larry David just kind of mocking the absurdity of the whole, Jada Pinkett Smith thing of like, like if anyone would be able like they kind of shut that down, like, hey, look here, Larry David, have we met? Alopecia, it's not that big a deal. Stop slapping people.
God.
So
what if I mean obviously it's not going to happen now because the show is going to go off the air unless he films something in the next 4 episodes. But wouldn't it be amazing if Will Smith went on Curb Your Enthusiasm to curb his public image?
I mean, that'd be great, but the ship sailed on that one.
I know. Well, like I said, we still got 4 episodes to go. We shall see.
See, Lori Loughlin, great sense of humor. Will Smith, come on.
Very fair. Very fair.
Which is so sad because at a certain point in time, tremendous sense of humor.
I know. Yeah.
Now, well, the time has passed.
Yep.
He won his Oscar. He's done. He's done it all.
All right.
Anyway, but House divided. Utter disaster. Turns into an utter disaster.
Chaos. Pure chaos.
So, importantly, return of the waiter. The waiter comes back, delightful surprise.
I love this, Dragon. I was so on board for this.
I really want Larry. I want this season. I want to see Larry David go to that other restaurant and see if the fish is there.
Totally.
Do you think the fish is going to be there? Do you think it's going to be an identity?
I do not. I very much do not think so. Honestly.
God, I want him to break this guy by the end of the season. I want him to admit, yes, fish stuck. Yes.
That would be great.
Leave me alone, fish stuck. Good. But so this, and the whole thing, Lincoln would have freed the fish.
All right.
Yes, Lincoln would have freed the fish. I thought that was funny. You pathological liar. Anyway, so let's see. So of course, Larry's sitting next to Cheryl again. This is a bit of like we're kind of closing the loop here. He's cosmically linked with this woman, whether she likes it or not.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So here's where we're getting to the iffy payoff here. So I like the conceptual idea of like this Pavlovian bladder response thing that he's trained himself to now when he hears like the whole the Gettysburg Address, he has the urge to use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. That I like. That's as a payoff conceptually. That's why they do the episode. That's why you call it Gettysburg Address. Like that in itself, that's funny. However, Larry doesn't know Ted Danson anything. He's just running out of there. There should be no discussion about I need these bathrooms. No, you can't use the bathrooms. Like, no, I'm going now. That's he's just bolt.
No, that's a good point. I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Ted Danson saddled him with Lori Loughlin. He doesn't know.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, it obviously didn't really affect the episode for me, but I do get your point.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Ted Danson intentionally saddled him with Lori Loughlin?
Ooh.
Or do you think it's just literally just his co-star? He just needs to help make her happy. Like, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, I feel like ever since the beginning of the episode, I kind of felt a little bit suspicious of Ted's intentions because he seemed a little bit too happy-go-lucky to approach Larry about the situation.
Exactly.
Because especially considering, like, literally every time that we've seen him so far this season, he's been just totally exasperated to see Larry in any sort of context. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest. When I went to this episode, I was expecting like Ted Danson like to flub a line or something, and then Larry Day was just gonna like either help him or spite him. He was just gonna say the Gettysburg. That's where I was expecting the episode to go.
Yeah.
But it went in another manner of speaking. That's the thing. So this is weird. It's like a weird karmic thing with Curb here, where Larry David falling is one thing, but we very, very intentionally he kind of lost control of his bladder. So I cosmically, because of the Irma thing, because the whole Groats thing that he lied, the whole lie about the Groats disease thing. Mm-hmm. in that sense, it is kind of justice for what he did there. However, he was saddled with Irma, and he was unfairly saddled with Irma, though. So I think it kind of balanced out to being I feel
6
bad for
months,
Larry.
Larry.
Yeah. Because he was just stuck with Irma. Irma was so intolerable to be around, though. So I'm feeling sympathy for him again. I feel like I don't want to see Larry suffer.
Do you think we're going to see Irma again, by the way? Because I was definitely predicting that we were going to, like, see her go off the wagon. But, you know, I kind of feel like now that we've kind of, like, passed the halfway point in the season, I think we're done with her. What do you think?
If she's going to come back, it'll be the last episode. Otherwise, she's not coming back.
Sure. Probably Maria Sophia, too. I'm honestly surprised she's never popped up again. Considering how big... I know that she was a plot device in the first episode, but still.
They have moved past the young Larry thing, because right now they're wrapped up.
Yeah, that's true. They have moved past the young Larry thing, right?
That does bring us to another thing. So there's been a development in Larry David's legal status right now.
Right.
Larry David gets arrested for vandalism, technically on 2 counts.
Oh, man.
So we glazed over this, but earlier, one of the most hilarious things in the episode, he and Leon, out of spite, they went to Shimon, who then banned Larry on the street after he asked them about the whole Rachel and the rug merchants thing, and to unban Leon. They end up spray painting "Not all you can eat." I love that.
I will say that I think that Larry made a big stupid error in actually saying that that's what the paint was for. Granted, it was a sticky situation to be in. You know, he took a shot by being up front, but still, it's, you know, not really smart when you're literally being blamed for vandalism.
Here's the thing, though, okay? I like that if he's going to be blamed, he wants to justifiably be blamed. The fact that it's like, you know what? Yes,
true.
I did that. I will go to court. I will say on record why I did this, so that guy will have to live with everyone knowing why I did this. Like, I think he's willing to go down for that unequivocally. Yes, I did it. I will accept the blame on that. Plus, even if he does accept the blame, it's kind of what he's been doing this season with the whole Atlanta thing. He's like calling out the injustices. You know?
But now that he's really, I don't know. I honestly think, like, I don't think my predictions have really turned out that great. But I would not be surprised if further on down the line in the season, like, it really becomes an issue of, like, Larry could seriously go to prison here. You know what I mean? Not just like a jail stint, but like serious prison time.
Yeah, right now, if he's gonna I don't know if we're gonna call it out directly to his lawyer or not, but again, hey, vandalized. Went down for vandalizing billboards. Like, no, the billboards wasn't me. It was still you vandalized a restaurant, though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not. He's plus. If they do like a character witness thing, so you briefly dated Sienna Miller, did you? And did you buy spray paint? Yes. And was there a spray painted phallus on the side of her billboard for her movie that you were on the set of? Well, so yeah, he's Larry might be in trouble.
All right. So I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, that is about it.
Yeah, we got through that pretty fast, I will say. All right. Final thoughts on the episode?
That's what I'm saying. It's good. I just didn't care for the bathroom joke at the end. Otherwise, I think it was fine.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really do think that between all the payoffs that we got in other areas of the episode, specifically the fish guy making his triumphant return, I feel like that kind of negates any negative feelings I have towards any of the bathroom humor in the episode. It's not quite as strong as last week's, but I still think it's probably better than episodes 2, 3, 4. I thought those were good, but not great. I think this is leading more into the great tier. All right. Well, big thanks to Little Blue and Code Gios for joining us in the comments. And we will see y'all later. Have a good night, everyone. Rachel!